8:03 is the time in the studios of Q95 FM radio. And we're starting bang on time tonight. Keep it locked for the In the Spotlight radio show. We've got a treat coming up for you tonight, and I mean that literally. Keep it locked.
On Q95 FM radio every Monday night from 8 p.m. In the Spotlight, featuring people from all walks of Dominican life, spotlighting their triumphs and tragedies, dreams, hopes, and aspirations, untold stories, touching the human and personal side of all people in politics, religion, sports, business, music, culture, the media, and more. Getting to know our farmers, public servants, youth, the ordinary Dominican. Listen to their stories. No limitations, no restrictions, no holds barred. In the Spotlight, we'll also spotlight interesting topics, issues, and relevant situations. Don't miss In the Spotlight on Q95 FM radio every Monday night from 8 p.m. In the Spotlight on Q95 FM radio every Monday night from 8 p.m. In the Spotlight, featuring people from all walks of Dominican life, spotlighting their triumphs and tragedies, dreams, hopes, aspirations, untold stories, touching the human and personal side of our people in politics, religion, sports, business, music, culture, the media, and more. Getting to know our farmers, our public servants, youth, and the ordinary Dominican. Listen to their stories. No limitations, no restrictions, no holds barred. In the Spotlight will also spotlight interesting topics, issues, and relevant situations. Don't miss In the Spotlight on Q95 FM radio every Monday night from 8 p.m. In the Spotlight.
Seven minutes moving down past the 8 o'clock hour. A pleasant good evening to you, wherever you are tonight, locked in to the In the Spotlight radio show, as we celebrate 10 years on the air right here on Q95 FM radio. You would recall that this program started in 2013. On the 13th of May is when we started. Our first guest was Mrs. Janice Armour. And for those of you following the anniversary activities, you would have caught my follow-up that I did with her 10 years later, which was aired on our social media pages, the In the Spotlight radio and TV shows page. You can go look for that now and follow us, because we have so many exciting things happening there, so many giveaways and all of that good stuff happening. So go there and you will find the interview that I did with Mrs. Armour, who will be 90 next year. She was really a first amazing guest. We do have quite a bit of giveaways and a lot of activities happening on the page, as I mentioned. So feel free to go across and follow us, become a fan of our page, and get an opportunity to win. We've so far given away a Dominica Gourmet Cookbook. Oh my goodness, it's all food again. By Mema Raphael. So that winner was Sonia Daru. Sonia, thank you for being a huge fan of the In the Spotlight radio show. And then as we speak, tomorrow we'll be doing the draw for the bottles of cream drinks. Compliments GBA Enterprises, Montego Bay. So look out for that as well. So the winner will be announced tomorrow. One chocolate and another flavor as well. We'll be doing the draw for that tomorrow. We have coming up a cake from Bunnies for Mother's Day. And we have so many other partners who have come forward and are supporting us with our In the Spotlight radio show page 10th anniversary. And it really has been a long time. We know that, there's been, we've done about 260 shows thereabouts. We know there were times that we were off the air because there was Hurricane Maria, Tropical Storm Erica. So many things impacted us, COVID along the way, but we were able to get things going and to get ourselves back up and running. But tonight, ladies and gentlemen, we have a treat for you. As I mentioned before, my guest tonight, I said to this gentleman a while ago, sir, you do not look the age that you gave me at all. It's impossible. And he made his way here tonight and he is ready to roll with the program. But before we do that, I would like to say good night and thank you to a few folks. We say thank you tonight to Josephine Gabriel and Company Limited, one of our sponsors, for providing us with some barefoot wine tonight. And that barefoot wine is for my guest's lovely wife. So I want him to take that home to her this evening. I hope she does wine. And then now we want to say thank you to Fine Foods. And Fine Foods has provided us with some 5-year age gentleman's Angostura single barrel rum. So that is for my guest tonight. And you will realize why I'm hesitating to say the name as yet, right? But I'll say it in a while. So this is for him. If he drinks, I hope he accepts this gift from myself and from Fine Foods Inc. If he doesn't, then he'll hold it home and, provide to his guests when they visit. And also Pamplemousse, goodies and services. Ronald, thank you so much. Ronald has provided us, he's keeping to his word. He has provided us with 2 goodie boxes, one for me, one for my guest tonight, as well as a drink. He brought us a drink and he reminded us that there's some alcohol in there. Let me see if I can just get the name of the drink that he brought for us tonight. Yes, it is a pamplemousse punch made from pink grapefruit. Okay, so we're looking forward to testing that. Not while we're on the air though, a little later for that. But we thank all of these good folks tonight. I am not sure if my good friend Leonard Lewis of the Great Old House will be sending us some lovely dinner tonight. If he's tuned in, he will definitely let me know. But we also want to big up the Great Old House, who also provides us with dinner after the show. Right. So are we ready to roll? We are ready to roll. My guest is ready to roll. How are you, sir? Good evening, and thank you so much for being here.
Fine.
How are you?
Okay, great.
You're doing great, sir. Wonderful. So his name, I'm going to try. His name is Francis Shoshamad. Shosadamado. Yes, I got it right? Shosadamado. I forgot the D-A.
D-A-R.
Yes, D-A-R.
M-A-D-O-N.
M-O-N.
No, D.
Uh-huh.
D-O-N.
Soshadamado.
Madon.
French. Tell me about that
It's
last
like
name.
your pamplemousse, which is grapefruit.
Yes. So we're going to get to chat with you, and we're just going to relax and have a very good chat. If you just bring the mic just a little closer to you for me, then we're going to be just perfect, because we want to hear you loud and clear. I mean, this story is just, I'm just excited to get it going. So we want to start off with that last name, Francis. I'll call you Francis throughout the
That's
line.
fine.
Or Mr. Sosh.
No need for Mister.
No need for Mr.
Only the chef used to call me Mister. It's either chef or Mister.
Chef. Okay, we can do chef or we can do Francis.
Yeah.
Tell me about that last name.
The last name is from Martinique. My father was French. My mom was Dominican. And, in the olden days, the French used to come to Dominica. And as far as I know, my dad used to bring a lot of food. Things like sweet potato, yam, and dashin, and that's how he did his living. Apart from that, he was a fisherman.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so met my mom, and there I am.
And there you are. What we didn't do, Francis, was to allow you an opportunity to say good evening to the listeners and anybody else in particular you want to shout out.
Good evening to all my friends and family. You're gonna hear the true story about my chef life in the UK.
In the UK, yes. All right, so mom met dad. Dad came from Martinique, came to Dominica.
Yeah, he was traveling back and forth
to
Dominica, and they met, and they had me, and there was 12 kids in all, but 3 was outside of wedlock, and 9 was Andrews.
Okay.
I used to call him Pap, really, my mom's husband. We had 9 brothers and 3 sisters. So we were actually all over the place, all over the globe.
All over the globe.
Yeah.
How much do you remember about mom and dad as well?
Well, as I said, my dad, I used to see my dad whenever he traveled to Dominica.
Mm-hmm.
My mom was still at my granny's, and when she got married, I was left with my auntie. So my auntie Elma actually raised me, and my older sister Angela, and my brother Dibisa. Now the other 9 kids was with husband.
Okay.
So Mom I always see, but Dad was
once in a while.
Special occasions.
Yes.
But he did marry a Dominican.
He still married a Dominican.
Yeah, he married a Dominican, a lady from Galion, where we call her Jenny. And after my dad passed away, when I was visiting Dominica, I always made it my business to go to Martinique and visit her.
Nice.
And then she'd be hugging me and going, Francis, I want to see you again. And she used to say that to me every year. Year in year, I want to see you until she reached 99.
You went to see her?
Yeah, I went to see her just the year before. And she passed away the same Monday as my cousin in Dominica. He would come on holiday. And about 8 days later, he died.
Mm-hmm.
So I couldn't go to Jenny's funeral in Martinique because I was taking care of my cousin's funeral.
Okay.
Yeah, so.
Who do you look like?
Everybody said I look like my dad.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I can see the resemblance, really. He's just a little shorter than me.
I was about to say you're quite a tall man.
Well, I was 6'1", and the last time I visited my doctor, he said to me, "You're shrinking." I said, "What do you mean?" I said, "What do you mean I'm shrinking?" He said, "You're not 6'1" anymore, you're 5'11".
Oh my.
I said, "What's that? Why?" He said, "As you get older, you shrink."
But you're still pretty tall.
Well, yeah, He said I was 5'11", but I think I'm about 6.
You still think you're in the 6 there. You don't tell him, don't bring you down to the 5, right?
No.
All right. So you think many persons say you look like that?
Yeah, everybody thinks I look like that. I mean, my hair was really like my old man. He had nice straight hair.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Yeah. What national? Well, he was Martican, but what race was he?
Well, this is he. I got a friend of mine, and he says to me, "Your dad is from India." I said, "Don't be silly. My dad is from Paris."
Probably believe that.
Why?
The hair.
Oh, the hair.
Yes.
Well, the hair is gone. It should be much better than that.
Yes.
Yeah. It was very good. But he was French. I mean, we got quite a few families in Paris. So, my cousin Kazo, now who I liaise with in Martinique, his family go back and forth in France.
Let us talk about growing up in Scottsdale. By the way, do we want to share your age?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, guys. So, listeners and viewers, this gentleman is 80 years old. 80 years old. He brought himself here to the studios from where he came from. And I said to this gentleman, you do not look at all the age that you said you are. I would put him around 60. So I would take about 20 years off you, Francis, and bring you to about 60. I want to say to you, I want to commend you on how well you look,
Thank
you. For your age, if you want to put it that way, people say sometimes.
Yeah, everybody get on, yeah.
Yes, so the people are on the live, if you think that this gentleman looks good for his age, send him some hearts, send him some love, okay? So, tell me about the community that you're from.
Well, it's Scottsdale St. Mark.
Mm-hmm.
Where I was growing up. It's a very good community. Everybody help each other, but it's not the same, I'm afraid, anymore.
What do you find to be different?
Well, it's nowadays you have your yard and people try and come into your yard to take stuff. When I was growing up, we used to get stuff to eat, not to sell. So you come into somebody's yard and steal his coconut and be rude to the person after that as well. That's not the way I was brought up.
And is that some of what you've experienced?
Well, that's happening all the time. Yeah. So.
And growing up, that was...
Growing up, we were great. I mean, we used school break about lunchtime. I didn't go home. I used to go in the bush and forage and see what I can find. Pomegranate and custard apple, soursop, whatever you can find to eat. There's a big estate where the school was. It's Savan in Scottsdale. It was it belonged to, was it Harry Bellot? But now it's a different thing. It's a village full of houses. Some good, very good houses out there. Mm-hmm. It's a good neighborhood.
It's a good neighborhood.
Yes.
Yes. And I want to say to to our audience that what you're going to find about this 80-year-old gentleman is that his brain is very alert and his memory is impeccable. So let us roll back to growing up in Scottsdale.
Growing up in Scottsdale, school, I loved going to school. It was good. You had to get up in the morning, fetch wood, sometimes go with my granddad to bring food, probably for supper the same day. And then go and jump in the sea under the sternpipe and then go home, get ready and go to school. And it was a cup of cocoa and the bread.
And the bread.
That was it.
Probably a bread with nothing in it.
it was. Yeah, and when I was really growing up, I mean, probably the age of 12, I used to go with one of my aunties. She used to bake bread. And I used to get up, 3 o'clock in the morning to go and help her bake bread, just to get enough bread to take home.
Mm-hmm. Early in the morning.
Yeah, 3 o'clock in the morning.
As a young boy, young child.
Yeah.
You understood what hard work was even from that age.
Hard work never kills anybody. I worked 14, 16 hours a day. I did work before I left Dominica.
Mm-hmm.
I worked for the government.
You worked for the government?
Yeah, I work on the road.
What were you doing on the road?
Well, what the guys are doing now, cleaning the roads and that. Because I did few months I was doing mason, brickwork. And I thought I would keep that up. But then everybody was going to London and I wanted to go to London.
But before you even got into working, cleaning, the streets and doing masonry and all of that, something happened with school. What happened?
Oh, you're taking back a few years.
Yes,
Yeah.
a lot of years.
It wasn't, I didn't leave school by choice, really. I think we had a very, very good headmaster. But what happened, he was passing one night and we were standing in a corner and there was a few friends together and somebody started giggling and he thought it was me. So when I went to school the next day, he used to stutter and he said to me, he said, you laugh at me. I said, no, sir, I didn't laugh at you. He said, I'm going to bench you. I said, no, not today, I said.
Not today.
Not today, because I didn't do anything wrong.
And for the purpose of those listening, when he says he's going to bench you, what does that mean?
Bench means you have to lie on your stomach on a bench and the other kids will get the best hammering whip for him to beat you maybe 12 strokes.
Oh, wow.
On
your bum.
Yeah. So I said, no, not today. So he said, I used to have a beret.
What is
a
that?
cap.
Okay.
French.
Oh, a beret.
Yeah.
B-A-R-E-T. Yes.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So he said, take your cap and books and go. I went, I got home. My aunt came home. Said, what are you doing home? I said, well, the teacher sent me home. So who told me to do that? It was worse. I got more lashes than what he was going to give me.
Oh my goodness.
And it was right next door to our house. That was the funny thing. He saw my auntie beating me from his studio, whatever, his library. And when I went to school the next day, he still wanted to bench me. I said, you're kidding me. I said, not today, that's it. I'm out of there.
And you left school?
I left.
You left, you never returned?
I never returned. I mean, I was doing well as well. Because I had to do well because I was trying to see if I could get a scholarship because my aunt couldn't pay for me to go anywhere. Mm-hmm. So put paid to that, so that was it.
At what level were you when you left?
I was in, you have 7B, 7A. So 7A would be your the highest mark.
Okay.
I left, that was it.
So where would you go from 7A if you had not left?
Well, I probably would sit for a scholarship.
You would sit for a scholarship, okay. And you wanted a scholarship?
Well, I did want to do well because, as I said, my aunt worked very hard and there was no way she was going to pay for me to go to the academy or anywhere. So that's why I wanted to do well.
But you lost that opportunity because of that.
I suppose probably he did me a favor.
He did you a favor. As we will probably find out, as we go through through the program. Who were some of your friends back then? Do you remember some of your friends?
Oh God, I remember all my friends.
You do?
Yeah. And one of my best pal, he passed away at an early age, Griffin. and Archie, and Ronald, Jamesy, Fabian, Heskiff, lots of friends. We were grouped together. Yeah, we used to play cricket by the bay. Yeah.
I am intrigued to know what were your aunt's thoughts after you went to school the second day and the principal wanted to bench you and you said no and you walked away. What were her thoughts on that decision?
Well, I came home, and when she was working, she came home. She said, "Well, you better find something to do." And then I actually started to work with some older people, carpenters, and working, carrying the wood, whatever the 2x4. And at the end of the week, you're there, say 7 hours, 8 hours a day, and they would hand you $10.
$10.
$10 or $15, and they thought they were doing you a favor after the whole week.
What could you do with that $10 or $15?
Nothing.
Nothing. How old were you, Francis?
I
Around
think
that
I
time?
left school about 15.
About 15. Okay.
Yeah, 15. 2 years on, I went to London at 17.
Yes. At age 17,
Yes.
you wanted to go to London.
Well, my
Why?
brothers was already in London, and my cousin, they went up, I think, 1958, something like that, and I kept pestering my auntie to get them to send the money, the fares, so I could go to London. And most of my friends were leaving by then as well, so I wanted to go.
You wanted to go.
Yeah.
Yes.
So
What was the fare like at that time to go to London?
going $312.
EC dollars?
EC dollars. $312 EC dollars
To travel to London.
to travel to London on the boat.
And how you got the money, you said?
Well, my nephew sent the money for me.
Okay.
His name was Nick. We call him Nick, yeah.
Nick.
And
And that's the best thing Nick ever did for you, I'm sure. As we'll find out throughout the program.
he passed away as well.
Yes. So you decided you wanted to go to London and your friends were going, you already had some family over there, and you decided, I need to go to London. The money was sent and you were on your way to London.
Yes, on the boat.
Take us on that journey.
Well, the journey took, I think, 13 days.
13 days
13 days, yeah. On Ascania.
Ascania.
Yeah, that was the boat. It was a few boats with the same name: Apinia, Ascania, different names. I think they were, whether they were Italian boats or Spanish boats, but they were all in the same group. Yeah, 13 days, well fed.
Well fed, yes. Tell us more. So what would have happened over those 13 days? You just
Well,
eat,
13 days on
sleep.
the boat, you just eat, drink, sleep, and that's it, really.
That's it.
Till you arrive in Southampton, and then you get the train to Victoria in the middle of winter. I got there, and my cousin, my brother, was waiting with me with this massive coat. I didn't know what I was getting myself into.
You didn't know?
No.
No. Did you know anyone on the boat while you traveled? And you were 17 at the time, right?
Yeah, I was 17 and 8 months. Yeah, I knew one or two people, some guy from Grand Bay, there was a couple of ladies from my village, Scotland. Became friends, we were talking, and yeah. It was great.
It was great. You enjoyed the journey.
I enjoyed the journey. It was like people taking a cruise now.
Yes. And so you get to London, and it's cold.
Mm-hmm.
They brought you this really big coat.
Yeah.
What was your first impression?
well, I want to go home. That was my first impression. I want to get away from there with that cold. Yeah, so.
What did London look like back then?
Oh gosh, misty and grey and freezing. Yeah, it's all right.
It was all right.
Yeah.
So we're going to talk a bit about your experience once you get to London. You're 17 years old. I would presume that you're not going to London to have anybody be a burden to anybody.
I want to work.
You want to work.
I want to work. I want to find a job.
Mm-hmm. So tell us about your job hunting.
What I wanted to do was to be a builder, really, to be a builder. And the cold put stop to that.
The cold.
Yeah, it's
So you couldn't work
outside.
Your body had not gotten.
Your hands would be freezing. No, I couldn't do that. So
forget that.
Forget that. I got a job as a table clearer in a famous cafe called Lions Corner House. It was right on the top of Piccadilly Circus there. And I was clearing tables. And I was in the warmth. So what more could you want? What
about payment?
Payment, don't mention that. When I left Dominica, I was earning $35 a day. In London, I was earning £5 a week.
Ooh.
Which is the equivalent at that time about $30.
Okay, close enough.
Yeah,
but it's a week. You were making $35 a day in Dominica.
Yeah.
But $30 a week, easy.
The people I left back in Dominica was earning five times my money.
Did you want to come back?
No. I said, I'm here. I have to do something on myself. Mm-hmm. I don't want to go up there as a goat and come back as a sheep. I want to do something. So after a few months, my brother was working my nephew, he was working in Harrods. He was working in the bakery in Harrods. And he got me a job in the store, in the kitchen. So there was this storeroom where you had to put all the stuff the chef needed. You get a check, so they tell you what they want and you put it. This is the veg department, sauce, fish, ladder, pastry, charcuterie. Everybody give you a check, and then you fill it, and then they come and get in the morning. So the lady who was in charge was a German lady called Elsa, very nice lady. And then we put up the store and we got talking one day. And she said to me, "You want to do this?" I said, "I'd love to be a chef. Yeah, I can do this." Because you start work at 7 in the morning. The chefs, they prep everything for like 5 hours. Service starts about 12. So I used to stand in the doorway between the store and the kitchen, and the chef is going mad. It's not, there's somebody calling out all the checks
orders,
because you have
checks.
Yeah, you got different sections. So he'll be on the top there saying, "Samash, one d'oeuvre, one rack of lamb." But you need to know, because the salt is for the fish section and the lamb is for the sauce side. So I was intrigued. So I said to this Elsa, "I want to do this." So she said, "Well, go and see Mr. Merritt." He was the executive chef. I said, "You think so?" She said, "Yeah, go on." So I knocked on his office, and first thing he went, what do you want,
Oh my
Sosh?
goodness. Sosh.
Yeah.
He called you Sosh.
He couldn't say my surname. He couldn't pronounce
I can
my
understand.
surname. So I knocked on the door and he says, what do you want, Sosh? I said, I want to become a chef. He says, okay. He says, go down to the laundry department and got trousers, jacket, hat, apron, neckerchief, hat, and I went back to see him. He says, right, he says, you serious about it? I said, yeah. He said, you'll have to go to college. But the company can't pay for you because you're 19 now. So,
And what was the reasoning there?
well, because to be an apprentice, you got to be like 15, 16,
Okay.
17.
Mm-hmm.
And the government, you can go to college free of charge.
Mm-hmm.
But I couldn't. So I said, yes, that's fine. I'll pay myself. Then I was earning £5.11 shilling. And he said, you have to do this for 3 years, though, she says. I said, yeah. And he said, don't let me down. It's like he was thinking of himself. If I go to college and I fail, it's going to be
on him.
On him. So I said, don't worry. But it was only 1 day a week.
1 day a week.
Yes, he couldn't go to college full time.
Okay.
So it was 1 day a week for 3 years. And in the morning, you would do the theory part of it. And in the afternoon, you do the practical. Or it could be the theory this week and practical next week. So we do this for 3 years and passed my exams. He called me in his office. He said, you've done well, Sosh. You passed with flying colors.
Mm-hmm. Well done.
We're going to give you a pay rise. So, yeah, big smile.
You're waiting to hear the pay rise.
Yeah, £11 from £5. I thought I was rich.
That was like over a 50% increase.
Yeah.
From £5 to
£11. Yeah, so, and then I moved from different departments, veg and this and that. And I finally got myself where I really wanted to be was the sous chef.
The sous chef?
Yeah, making sauces and stuff like that.
Okay.
The sous chef is, well, the sous chef is the best part, the highest part of the kitchen. Because you have somebody on the vegetables doing soups, cooking all the veg, which is the way it works in the kitchen. Our kitchen was when they place an order, say 1 ton of dough.
One what?
Ton of dough.
Right.
It's a fillet steak.
You're gonna have to explain some of those to us as we go along.
It's a small steak.
Okay.
Well, with different garnishes
Yes.
and different sauces and stuff like that. But then at the same time, he would order 1 épinard, which is spinach, and 1 pomme sauté, which is sauteed potato, to go with that order. So when he's calling it away, he'll say, yeah, 1 ton of dough, 1 spinach, 1 sauteed potato, and so on and so. Yeah. So I spent about 4 or 5 years. By then I was doing casual work as well.
Okay.
I was doing part-time to earn a bit more money. Harrods had a club for all their staff where people used to go and play sports. So I used to go there and cook for them in the evening. And then I used to go to Wembley Stadium and do Monday and Friday. So 1966, I think, I was doing casual work at Wembley. It was the World Cup in 1966.
1966
Yeah.
was the Football World Cup?
Yeah, England won it.
World Cup.
I think they beat Germany.
So wait, we're going all the way back to 1966, and you're saying that you remember Who won the World Cup?
Yeah.
And against whom they played?
Yeah, England.
England played against Germany, you believe it was?
Yeah.
And England won.
Yeah, I should have a program about it at home in London.
Before we continue there, I just wanted to pop back a bit to when you went to college.
Oh yeah,
What
college was good.
Yeah, what happened? Once a week you went.
I
what
went
were you
once.
taught? You know what happened?
Everything. This is the basic really, because you had to have cookery books, and then while you're working in the kitchen, you would learn from the others. I remember once I said to one of the chefs, we were doing a dish called moussaka.
Moussaka.
Yes.
What is that?
Moussaka is mince meat. You do a bolognese type, and you put it in the dish, and then you have to get mashed potato. So you have to pipe the mashed potato on it. Very fancy one.
Mm-hmm.
So I asked him how to do it. He wouldn't teach me. You know what he said to me? He said, go home, Sosh, get half a pound of butter, get it soft, put it in a piping bag until you can do this properly. He wouldn't
He
show
wouldn't
me.
teach you.
No.
So you did what he said.
Yeah, I used to read books. I used to go to bed sometimes 1, 2 o'clock in the morning. I'm reading, but I always use a candle. No.
Why?
It's bad for your eyes.
You would use a candle to read,
Yeah.
as
put the
opposed to
candle,
electricity.
Yeah, on the side of my bed.
You would read.
Yeah.
And you learn.
I read everything. I learn. That was the.
You really wanted to do this.
Yes, I wanted to be the best. Yeah.
And you turned out to be one of the best.
I think so.
You think so? All right. So you worked at you worked at Harrods.
Harrods, the superstar.
And for those of us who don't know about Harrods, because I've not been to England, I've heard about Harrods, but I've not yet been to England. So tell us about Harrods.
Harrods was one of those famous places. Whatever you wanted, gold, watches, TV, clothes, everything was the best. Though I worked there, the only thing I could buy was a pair of socks. Yeah, we see what happened. We used to play football in the park, Hyde Park Corner, with other teams, other kitchens, other hotels and stuff. And we would get all messed up. Every Wednesday we used to play. So one day I end up in what they call the Serpentine, which is like a lake. I got all wet, and then we had to go back and work. So I said, let me go and buy a pair of socks. That's all I could afford.
That's all you could afford at Harrods.
Oh yeah.
Well, I'm sure later.
Couldn't afford anything else.
Later down the line, I'm sure you could.
Well, probably now.
Yeah, I love that. So what restaurants did you have at Harrods, and what type of food did you cook there?
Oh God. We had in Harrods, we had one of the longest menu you could find, and you could eat you could maybe have starters from 5 shillings. You could have a main course, maybe a Doversol, a steak for maybe 15 shillings. It was quite reasonable, but now, I mean, these things we're talking £75 for your main course.
How things have changed over 60 years thereabouts.
I got all those menus at home.
You have all the menus?
In London, I got a box full.
A box full of menus.
Books and menus, different places. I kept quite a lot of them. Yeah, it's nothing like now.
Nothing like now. So after Harrods...
After Harrods, I went to...
First of all, why did you leave Harrods?
I suppose for more money. Yeah, you know what you're doing now, so you want to get paid for what you're doing. So I left Harrods. I went to the Starlight Restaurant in Wembley. So not the Wembley, you have Wembley Stadium, you have the Starlight Restaurant, and you have where they do the music. So there was 3 areas to Wembley, but it was the same group. One man owns it. Yeah, so I stayed there.
How did you get that job?
I knew the chef, and I asked him for a job, and he says, "When can you start?" And that was it.
And that was it.
Yeah. The thing was, the chap in Harrods was well known as well, Fred Merritt. So as they said to you, where's your last job? Harrods, Fred Merritt. Oh yeah, when do you want to start?
And that's it.
That was it.
And you got the job.
Yeah.
What position did you hold there?
Just normal chef.
Okay.
Chef the party, which means it might be the fish section
Okay.
or the steak section, the sauce, Yeah.
So how long did you remain there, and did you rise up to?
I stayed there for a while, and then I became head chef of the Starlight Restaurant.
Okay.
And from the Starlight Restaurant, between the Starlight Restaurant, back then I found myself the most gorgeous woman. And I decided I'm going to save to get married. And Victor, who is English, and John Wolford was my best friend, both English. I said,
come closer to the mic, yes.
I said to Victor, I want to get married. He said, you get married, you got no money. I said, no, I'm going to save the money. So the suitcase I came up to London with, I locked it. I threw the key away, and I put a hole on the top, so I couldn't just there enough to put the money away. And Victor ended up, he was my best man as well.
So you saved?
I saved.
In that suitcase?
Did casual work from my own full-time jobs. And when I saw one time, I thought, God, there's a lot of money there. So that was it.
And who was that very special lady?
My wife, Mary.
Mary is her name.
Yeah, my mother's name was Mary as well.
Oh, guess that was meant to be.
Yeah.
And Mary's from, how did you meet Mary? And where is Mary from?
Mary's from Ireland.
She's Irish.
Yeah. But she's a Dominican citizen now.
She's a Dominican citizen, and we're happy to have her as part of our Dominican family. How did you guys meet?
It's a long and short story.
Okay. Give us an in-between.
I used to come from work sometimes. I had what you call a Lambretta, not a motorbike. The next thing down, a Lambretta is like a Vespa. You see those guys riding it, but much better than one.
Okay.
And you had all the fancy things, because I was a mod. And there was rockers. Rockers were troublemaker teddy boys.
And you were what?
A mod.
Spell that for me.
M-O-D.
A mod. A mod.
A mod, yeah.
What does that mean? Help us.
That was just what it was. Mods and rockers.
Mods and rockers.
Yeah. Mods and rockers. So Lambretta and Vespers were mods. And you had all the fancy thing with it, the frills, the crash bars, long back seats and things like that. So all the girls used to be after months.
After mud, so you were mud.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And so
We met.
Miss Mary was interested in the mud.
Yeah. We met, and the rest of it was history. We had a daughter, and then we decided to get married, and guess where we get married? The church was called St. Francis of Assisi.
Oh my God. St. Francis, your namesake.
Yeah, it was called St. Francis of Assisi.
Oh.
Yeah.
And the rest is history, as you say.
Oh yeah, right. 57 years on.
57 years of marriage.
Yeah.
You've been together or married for 57 years?
No, we knew each other before, but we've been married 57 years.
57 years.
58 years next January 21st.
What keeps it together, Francis? She's always right? That's what they say.
No, sometimes she's always right. Most of the time, it's just do things together. So that's it.
Understanding, communication.
Yes.
The words.
Yes.
The
Yes.
words.
She has a moment with me, but
57 years, of course. We're going to take a quick break, Francis, give you an opportunity to probably take a sip of your Tropita water, and we're going to come right back in just a moment. This is the In the Spotlight radio show, and as I mentioned before, we are celebrating 10 years of this program on the air. We started in May of 2013, and we thank so very sincerely Mr. Sheridan Gregoire. When I came to him with the idea for the program, you know, he was very, very happy to engage me and to, you know, give me that opportunity. And so, you know, a few weeks later, we got the program started and going. And here we are today, 10 years later. We are still here with the program, about 260 programs under our belt. And, you know, if I might say so myself, you know, I think this is quite a feat in terms of achievements for the show. And as I mentioned as well, you know, we are celebrating throughout the month of May. And next week, Monday, we will have another exciting main guest here for the anniversary Monday program. And we're also hoping to do something on the actual day of the program, which is the anniversary, which is the 13th of May, is a Saturday. So we're hoping to have something done on the Saturday night as well. But we're doing programs on Mondays throughout the course of the month. We have produced a video that if you go to the page, that you will be able to see that video where I speak about the beginning of the In the Spotlight radio show and, you know, some more information sharing as it pertains to the show. You will also find some greetings, some video greetings of some of the guests who have passed through the show. And if you're a fan and you're out there and you would like to send us a video greeting, we would also welcome that. If you're a former guest and you would also like to send us a greeting as well, that would definitely be appreciated. If you would like to make a contribution to our anniversary celebrations, we would also welcome that as well, you know, to get some, you know, some stuff going. We have quite a few persons who have come on board to assist us with prizes, and I do not want to start calling names, and I don't have, I leave out anyone, but we have quite a few organizations who have come on board, and we're doing some giveaways through the In the Spotlight radio show page. So make sure that you visit the page, follow the page, so you too can be part of all of this. I really want to say thank you to all the guests who have come through the program over the years, those who have supported in one way or the other. You know, we are really, really, really grateful for all the support that you have provided. What does the future look like? You know, we're still pretty much excited about the future of the show as we continue to bring you these amazing stories like we're bringing you tonight here on the In the Spotlight radio show. We're coming right back right after this. Keep it locked.
In the Spotlight on Q95 FM radio every Monday night from 8 p.m. In the Spotlight, featuring people from all walks of Dominican life, spotlighting their triumphs and tragedies, dreams, hopes, aspirations, untold stories, touching the human and personal side of our people in politics, religion, sports, business, music, culture, the media, and more. Getting to know our farmers, our public servants, youth, and the ordinary Dominica. Listen to their stories. No limitations, no restrictions, no holds barred. In the Spotlight will also spotlight interesting topics, issues, and relevant situations. Don't miss In the Spotlight on Q95 FM radio every Monday night from 8 p.m. In the Spotlight.
And as we return to the program, I would like to once again thank Josephine Gabriel and Company Limited. They are the agents for Topita Water and Barefoot Wine, which we are providing a bottle to Mr. Francis here this evening for his lovely wife, Mary. I hope he'll share a glass with her as well. And we also want to say thank you to Fine Foods. They are the agent for Single Barrel Rum Angostura Single Barrel Gentleman's Rum, 5-year aged. And I do hope that Francis can have a drink. If not, as I said, use it to entertain friends when they come by. But I definitely would like to thank Fine Foods Inc. for that. We also would like to say thank you to Ronald and Pamplemousse Restaurant for our goodie box tonight, as well as the Pamplemousse drink that he brought for us as well, that we're definitely going to enjoy. And we're back with Francis, last name again?
Sosh Damador.
Sosh Damador. I can say it.
Most people call me Sosh.
Most people call you Sosh to make it much easier. Yes. So what was your time like at the Starlight restaurant, and where did you move on from there?
Oh, the Starlight restaurant was great. All my friends used to visit me. I used to have friends from Ireland. They used to do reunions, and they used to book the place to come and eat. And it was very good.
What kind of food did you?
Well, you would have an a la carte menu, which got a lot of things on it, and you would have what we call a table d'hote menu, which is menu of the day. So you would do a starter, a main, a dessert, and it's a set price, just like you do here. And the a la carte, you pick, but it's mainly if you phoned up and you come into lunch, you can ask for whatever you want, we'll cook it. You say you want a lobster, we'll cook you a lobster. You just have to pay for it. You want a T-bone steak or tomahawk steak, we do it. Whatever the customer wants, we do.
What do you, before we continue as to where you went, because soon after that you went into some big time business. What do you love about being a chef?
It's great. I always said, if you're doing the job and you don't like it, don't do it. But if you like it, you do it to the best of your ability. That's it. I just love cooking.
You love cooking. Do you create?
Yes. Funny enough, I did, because when I went from the Starlight to the stadium, where you would do maybe 2,000-3,000 meals, you had to find ways. And I recall calling the veg man, the man who supplied me with all the vegetables. His name was Samak. friends. I said, I'm fed up getting chef-turned potatoes, because we use like shato potato, is a barrel-shaped potato, so like 6 turns. Then you've got a fondant potato, which might be 4 turns, a bigger potato. And we pay people endless hours to be peeling potato.
Mm-hmm.
So I said to him, look, you're the place, man. Come to the stadium. I'll show you the chateau, and I want you to do it in your establishments. And I want you to put 15 portion in the bag and 30 portion in the bag, because we have, on the big occasion, you have to do distribution. And by having it 15, if a chef's going to do 45 covers, then we give him a 30 and a 15, and it's free potato per person. So he went away, he came back, and the vacuum had burst from the potato. They had to vacuum pack it. I said to him, well, you have to do something about that. And you need to stop it going brown. So you have to get a potato whitener to keep it white. So he managed that. Next thing, he said, what about fruit salad? I said, yeah. I said, not your type of fruit salad. I mean, my kind of fruit salad, tropical fruits. I said, yeah, fruit salad, mangoes, pineapple, papaya, oranges, black grapes, white grapes, no banana.
No banana.
No, tropical.
Uh-huh.
We've laced it with a rum. You do a stock syrup and you put rum in it to put the fruit salad. So I showed him how to make a gallon, and a gallon would serve 30 people. Mm-hmm. So that was the end of me employing people to be standing there, cutting grapes in half, deseeded them. Mm-hmm. So that was done.
That was done.
Yeah, I should have put my name to it.
You should have. You should have copyrighted that. Is there anything you don't like about being a chef?
No, not really. That's what I do. That's what I know.
What are some of the challenges then that you face?
Oh, challenge? Oh,
yeah.
God. People said to me, how do you cook doing 7,000 meals? 7,000 meals is just like you're doing 7 meals for your family. It's just multiplication. You know, you're gonna allow your kid to have 6 ounces of salmon, and you've got 7,000 people. 7,000, multiplied by 6, divided by 2.2 to give you kilograms, and then that's what you order from the fishman. It's simple.
It's simple. It's simple for you because that's your job, right?
Yeah, it's just a question. I mean, the most meal I've done is 13,000.
13,000. And what was that for?
This was Cheltenham Gold Cup. We have about 50 to 60,000 people come to the place, and everybody ordered the full package. We have different package. We're running something like 4 different menus. So it might be a menu, say one menu is $50, the next one might be 100, next one will be 200, and next one will be 500. Mm-hmm. So the richer you are, the better menu you pick, the most expensive. So, but the menus consist of, it's not, people used to say to me, yeah, 13,000 burgers and chips. I said, oh, we don't do burgers and chips. We have burgers and chips for the people who cannot get a seat in the restaurants. You come in for your maybe 500 pounds, you'll get coffee and biscuit, you'll get canapes of all types, and then you have your lunch, dessert, coffee, and then you would have your afternoon tea. That's all part of it. And what we try to do is to get everybody to eat and drink more wine, spend more money.
That's it.
Yeah, yeah. So,
what are some of your favorite dishes that you've prepared? What are those you enjoy doing the most? A couple of your favorites.
I kind of love a sole dish. We do a fillet sole murat, which is the fillet sole. You cut them into strips, or we call them lozenges, strips, and then you get some potato, and you would do what we call matchsticks potato. It's exactly like a matchstick.
That small.
That small. And then we do the artichokes as well. And then so you cook the sole first in butter, garlic, and then you would add the potato and the artichokes, lemon juice, and in the dish, and finish it with pasta.
Wow. That's one of your favorites.
Yeah, I love doing fish. I used to love doing fish. Meat-wise, I don't know, a nice beef stroganoff, something like that. Yeah. But, as I said, all kind of food. Lobster thermidor. I mean, like, I've never seen a lobster thermidor prepared here. You get lobsters, or maybe a lobster American, things like that, which is a lobster sauce served with a peel of rice, and there's lots of.
So that's lobster thermidor.
No, lobster thermidor is you cook the lobster, but you don't overcook it. Just normal lobster would take 20 minutes to cook in boiling water, and if you're gonna use it for a thermidor, 15 minutes, so you don't overcook it. So then you break it. Don't forget, lobsters has claws.
Mm-hmm.
What we get here is crayfish. It's not lobsters. Lobsters has 2 claws. So you get the lobsters, split it in half, take the meat out, you crack the claws, and then you cut them into dice. Then you get the saute pan, put a bit of butter into it, put the lobster in, and then you add brandy, and then you finish it with a bechamel sauce, cheese sauce, and then you lay it back.
Cheese sauce?
Yeah, bechamel.
Thing.
Cheese sauce, you make bechamel, milk, you make a roux, butter roux, and then you add your milk. It's best to use hot milk because it'll cook quicker. So you do the bechamel, cheese, Parmesan cheese or cheddar. So you do all that, and then you place it back in the shell.
Oh.
Yeah, you have to place the lobster back into the shell, and then put the cheese on top of it, and then under the salamander to gratinate, to grill it. That's the lobster thermidor.
Oh.
So you first cook the lobster, de-shell it, keep the shell, clean the shells, cut the lobsters, saute pan, butter, garlic, lobster in, brandy. Oh, I forgot the key thing, mustard.
Mustard.
Must have some mustard.
I find that recipe to be. I'm a foodie, by the way, Francis.
Well, you want to eat that?
I love food. I want to eat that.
Yeah, lobster thermidor. That's the thing.
Do you still cook?
Yeah, of course I cook.
So you still do the cooking at home?
My wife do most of it. But
No,
I
okay. But you cook?
I cook, yeah. I cook. She don't like the way I kill the lobsters. because I put them in boiling water and they're flapping.
Oh my goodness!
That's
You cook them alive.
Yeah.
Okay.
I used to cook 2,000 lobsters every day for raw Alaska. 2,000 every day.
2,000
for 5 days.
For 5 days.
Yes. Because as I said, Royal Ascot is something special menus.
We've not gotten there as yet, by the way.
No.
So let us talk about that. So you left, I just, said.
Well, now I left the stadium and I moved to Tottenham and Arsenal. I was looking after both grounds.
Tottenham and Arsenal.
Tottenham and Arsenal. I'm an Arsenal supporter,
yes.
by the way. So I was there for a while. I had about those chefs. I had about 7 chefs with me, permanent. So we rely on what we call casual chefs, which is part of what you did a little earlier on in the day when you were trying to save some money. Yeah, part-time chefs, but casual. And sometimes you have to go with an agency. Now, if you're going to pay an agency chef double than what you would pay an ordinary chef. So if, for instance, we used to pay our chef 75 and 80 pounds a day, the agency chef would want 120, 140 because the agency
has to get its feet cut.
They want their cut. Yeah, so that was it. So I went to Arsenal and Tottenham. And during the summer
before we continue, so we want to, Dominicans are big fans of Arsenal and all of the teams, especially those in the Premier League. The Premier League is on now. Man City and Arsenal. I'm an Arsenal fan too, by the way, by association.
There's a war going on at the moment.
Yes.
Between Arsenal and Man City.
Yes.
By the way, they're playing tomorrow in the Champions League against Real Madrid.
Who is playing against City?
Man City.
Man City is playing against Real Madrid. Okay. All right. Well, good for them. Great support, Arsenal.
I just want them to lose a couple of games in the Premier League. In the Premier League.
Yes, and they're just not losing, Francis. They're not losing at all.
No, exactly. I don't know what it's gonna take to beat them. Yeah.
They gave us a 4-1 on the last game. Let's not even talk about that, right?
They beat us 2 games.
Both
so
games.
Anyway, I was at top.
But what I wanted to know though, before we continue, speaking about Arsenal, so who were some of the players that were part of Arsenal around the time that you were their chef?
Yeah, you have to do lunch for the players.
Who were some of the players? Back then, do you remember?
Well, I hope so, because Tony Adams was the captain at the time.
Okay.
And you had Tyler Gibson, you had Thierry Henry, Patrick Vieira, and so on. So a lot, most of them. I mean, Christmas time as well, because they would bring a lot of kids in, and we used to feed the kids, and they used to go and present them with presents and all that. So.
What was their menu like? Was it?
Menus would be fish, chicken, or pasta. They wouldn't do any stews or any like a hot pot or stroganoff, things like that. That'd be too heavy. So it'd be Delvasol, chicken, grilled chicken, or pasta.
And would that be on game days?
On game days, they have to eat before the game.
No training days, just game
training days. They were training somewhere else, and they had their own kitchen and everything.
So game days, so they eat before or after?
Before, and you would do a finger buffet afterwards for their guests, because they have to go into the boardroom or whatever. Because the boardroom on any given day. Football, you would have, if say Arsenal was playing Man United could bring as many as 30, 40 people, which is the top brass.
Right.
And then Arsenal would have the same amount again. So you would have to cook food for all the dignitaries for maybe 80 to 100 lunches for them.
Wow.
And they won the best.
They won the best.
Oh yeah, every club wants to show off. So when they were playing United, you know, people say so. They want them to come and have a good time. So, yeah.
And what about Tottenham?
Tottenham was the same thing. Tottenham was about I think I can't remember if Alan Sugar came after me because he bought it, didn't he, one time? Yeah. So football, yes, I stayed at football for quite a while, and then the company got a place called Langbourne Opera House, which was an elite place. You probably won't get a ticket for 2 years.
Oh.
So you have to be lucky to get a ticket. So during the football break from May, June, July, my boss wanted me to go to Glyndebourne and oversee it. So I went to Glyndebourne and they were putting an opera on which was called Porgy and Bess, which was all black cast. And the people who owns the place, George and Lady Christie, Mary Christie again, Mary, she said, what can we do? You know, we need to do a theme dinner for Saturday because that's the first show in our Porgy and Bess. And I said, no, why don't we do a Caribbean night? I didn't know what I was letting myself into. So I said, we'll do a Caribbean night. And she said, what kind of food? I said, Caribbean, West Indian. I said, we'll do all sorts of things. I said, and then little did I know, you couldn't get any of this where the theatre was, in Lewis, which is the other side of Brighton. I had to go all the way to London to buy all the produce. And it was for 500 people. And imagine doing the buffet. So I said, what are we having? I said, well, we're going to get some snappers. We're going to get some stewed pork. We're going to get curry goat.
Okay.
And we're going to get ribs. And so on so on.
What about the sides?
Well, we did salads and we did
Plantains.
Yeah.
I was waiting to hear
Ripe plantain and some bananas and dashing, and yeah, it was a typical West Indian. And the chicken dish was called Dominican chicken. It was only a
So
Creole.
you just gave it a name.
It was a Creole chicken. So on the night of, I had must have been about 10 chefs waiting to serve these 500 people, and some commis, some the waitresses, but we don't want to keep them waiting. But once you say curtains down, the people come and they want to eat.
They want to eat.
And come back to the theatre. So the people, they came in and everybody's looking at the food. And I said to myself, what have I done? So everybody's just looking, nobody's eating. I thought, oh no. But little did I know, they weren't eating because George and Mary Christie hadn't come.
Oh, they were waiting.
They're the owners.
Yes, yes.
As soon as George and Mary arrived, over there, my God, I thought, I hope we don't run out.
It was that good.
It was that good.
And it was new to them.
Yeah.
Because it was a different menu altogether than you're accustomed
to. Can you imagine some of these people have seen curry goats and stewed pork, rice and beans and God knows what. We had everything. They scuttled it all. So I was really pleased. So the next day she called me. She said, we must do it again.
Did you?
No.
No, didn't happen again.
I moved to
Royal Ascot?
Well, no, I moved back to Tottenham.
Okay.
And as I said, I went back to Tottenham. I'm sitting in the office one day and I saw 2 or 3 big cheese coming.
You're wondering, what are they
I'm
coming
I'm
for?
saying to myself, what have I done? And I haven't done anything. So they came. I think it was about July. And they had just had Royal Ascot, but the guy messed it up. People didn't get what they ordered. Some people didn't get anything at all. So they came and they said to me, we want to talk to you. I said, yeah, go ahead. But I already heard from the grapevine that the guy had messed up. So they came and they said to me, we want to offer you the job at Ascot and you'll be responsible, you'll be exec chef for, there was something like 19 racetracks and so many football clubs. I said, okay, so I'm going to be that. So I said, what about the dosh?
The dosh, you call it.
We used to say, anytime you wanted a raise, you say, what about the gonzai? Or what about the dosh? So he said, well, Kit will talk to you about that. He wants to take you out to lunch and this and that. I said, okay, because Kit was the chief executive at the time, Kit Mansell. So we went, and then I went to Ascot, and the chap from Ascot went to football. We swapped jobs.
Oh, yes. So the person who was at Ascot.
Ascot.
And tell us again, just bear in mind, not everybody would know what we're talking about. So tell us what Royal Ascot.
Well, Royal Ascot is Royal Ascot. It's all about the best horses, the people with the most money, who have the best boxes, order the best meal. Now, if I tell you somebody would order a pound of beluga caviar, which is from a sturgeon, and you would pay as much as £22,000 for a pound of caviar.
Say that again?
£22,000 for a pound of caviar. These are top notch. This is where we cook 200 lobsters every day, and salmon. You would probably spend about $1 million plus with just the fish man for the week, and the same with the meat man, and the veg man. You'd spend about
that kind of
five.
money.
You probably spend about 4 or 5 million with your suppliers.
Incredible.
Yeah, but if you spend 5 million, you want to get at least 25 back.
And I'm sure you did.
Oh, I did. They didn't tell me so much, but I know I did. If I didn't, they wouldn't have kept me there.
So your gig at Royal Ascot,
It's all the best horses, the best stables, and it's the most money. It's something on its own, something to see. I know the other thing, the best thing is on Thursdays, they call it Ladies' Day, but it's not Ladies' Day. It's women, well, they're well dressed, but
we know what it is.
it's like carnival. Yeah. So that was it. I end up there, and then which means I was responsible for places like Cheltenham Go Cup, Grand National at Liverpool, which is the most famous horse race in the world. And you have like 100,000 people there.
And you were responsible for all of that?
Yeah. Yeah.
You ran the place?
Yeah. Yeah, I run Cheltenham from 84 till I retire. I think it was 203, 204. 203.
That's a lot of years.
Yeah. Yes, that's what I did. Yeah.
You've had the opportunity to cook and serve for some very
Yeah,
well
I mean, people like George and Mary Christie, I don't know if they had anything to do with the auctioneer people, but you're talking people, these two people, they own the whole village where they live. Most houses there, people were renting from them. And then I was told they had somewhere else in Cornwall, Devon, bigger than what they had there. And this was the whole village.
The Queen of England. What's the connection?
The Queen she owns Royal Ascot. She owns the ground there, the whole area from Windsor Castle all the way down. All that land, all that belonged to the Queen, and she had a lot of horses herself. Yeah. So
did you ever have the opportunity to cook for her?
yeah, we had to cook. We were cooking.
Well, yes, if she's there and
She's
you're cooking
there.
for everybody.
She's there every day. We had a chef just to cook for them. John Smith.
And you oversaw that chef and all the chefs.
Every chef. We had about 100 chefs, and then we would go to the colleges and ask them for some second-year students. We don't want first-year students because they didn't know much. So you want second-year or third-year student to help you. So if you had to put 4 chefs in an area to run the business, you put maybe 3 chefs and 2 comics. Save you some money. Yeah.
You're a big deal. You know that.
I don't know. Some people
I think you're a big deal, and I think many of those persons who are tuned into the program right now must be saying, oh my goodness, this is a Dominican, left Dominica at the age of 17, went to London, not knowing what the adventure was going to be like. Was afraid of the cold.
No idea.
Couldn't do the carpentry work that he wanted to do. Was bold enough to go up to the chief executive chef at the place that you worked and say that you would like to be a chef. You were in the storeroom.
I was in the storeroom and I went to the exec chef and said, look, I think I can do this. And that was it. And the rest was history.
The rest was definitely history. Yeah. And as we mentioned, Royal Ascot and the Queen, what's your view though on the royal family? We just had the coronation of Charles III and Camilla. Were you into all of this royal? Not really?
Not really. Harry was my man.
We all love Harry.
Yeah. So
we all love Harry. We all love Harry. All right, so we're just going to take a quick break again, and then we'll come back as we continue our conversation with Francis, Chef Francis Kiblat.
In the Spotlight on Q95 FM radio every Monday night from 8 p.m. In the Spotlight, featuring people from all walks of Dominican life, spotlighting their triumphs and tragedies, dreams, hopes, and aspirations, untold stories, touching the human and personal side of all people in politics, religion, sports, business, music, culture, the media, and more. Getting to know our farmers, public servants, youth, the ordinary Dominican, Listen to their stories. No limitations, no restrictions, no holds barred. In the Spotlight will also spotlight interesting topics, issues, and relevant situations. Don't miss In the Spotlight on Q95 FM radio every Monday night from 8 p.m. In the Spotlight on Q95 FM radio every Monday night from 8 p.m. In the Spotlight, featuring people from all walks of Dominican life, spotlighting their triumphs and tragedies, dreams, hopes, aspirations, untold stories, touching the human and personal side of all people in politics, religion, sports, business, music, culture, the media, and more. Getting to know our farmers, our public servants, youth, and the ordinary Dominican. Listen to their stories. No limitations, no restrictions, no holds barred. In the Spotlight will also spotlight interesting topics, issues, and relevant situations. Don't miss In the Spotlight on Q95 FM radio every Monday night from 8 p.m. In the Spotlight.
9:35 is the time in the studios of Q95, and we're speaking with Francis, Chef Francis, or Chef Sosh. That last name is something else, I tell you. Boy, I don't think many persons would have an easy time saying that last name. But
There's only 4 of us in Dominica.
Only 4?
Yeah.
Who are some of your other relatives in Scotland? Somebody was asking.
It's, I was told Nicholas, because my mother was Nicholas,
Okay.
married Andrew.
Okay.
And Javier, I reckon, Nicholas. Nicholas and the Javiers are
Okay.
supposed to be my granny, my granddad's family. But I always said, and she's my family.
Tell me, Francis, outside of all of this cooking that you've done over the years for so many years, what else do you enjoy?
Sports. I enjoy all kinds of sports. Cricket, football, rugby, you name it, I watch it.
Do you play any yourself?
I used to play a little cricket. We used to go and do football over the park with different restaurants, play against each other on a Wednesday at the High Park. That's when I went into the Serpentine and had to buy a pair of socks.
What about have you had any cricket games that you've had to cater to, cook for?
Yeah. We the company looked after the Oval Cricket Ground,
Okay.
which is part of London, and then they look after Edgbaston, which is in Birmingham. I oversee all that.
This is amazing.
It was as I said, it's the company had so many different places. I used to travel about 45,000 miles a year.
Going to different places.
places. I stayed at hotels and probably be away from home for the year about 3 months a year in total, in days.
What was the ultimate dream job as a chef?
I'd say, I would probably say
Royal
climb,
Ascot.
climb on because of the nature of the place. Royal Ascot, yeah, Royal Ascot. But I love Glenbow. The people was fantastic. It was a pleasure. It's a pleasure. As I said, you cook. If you don't like what you do, don't do it. I mean, you get some chefs who wants to cut colors. I'm not into that. There's no colors.
How do you think you got to where you got to? Was it your reputation? Was it knowing the right people?
I suppose I get on with everybody. I had some fantastic bosses. I saw from Ascot when I went there in 1984 till I retired. I must have had around 6 chief executives. I saw them come and go. So I must have done something right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But when you say that, I had a chef and he came knocking on my door once. And he said, come in, he came in and he said to me, chef, he's looking in the kitchen and he's seeing so many chefs in the kitchen. I said, chef, as a black man, how did you end up with the job? Because I showed you the.
Yes, the photo.
He said, how did you end up with the top job? I looked at him and I said, because I'm good at what I do.
That's it.
What do you think?
Mm-hmm. That's it.
Yeah.
You're good at what you do.
And it was
On Memkule.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I said, what a thing to say to
I
me.
find so too myself.
You know, I mean, why do you think I got the job? Yeah.
And that brings me to ask about when you initially got to England and over the years, you know, did you encounter any level of racism?
Both sides.
Both sides. And tell me what you mean when you say that.
Both sides. It was especially we got married, we had a little baby, you'll be walking down the road and you'll see both sides say, shame on me.
Oh.
Yeah.
Shame on who?
Me and my wife. Like, you know, we should be married, black and white. You know, this, it's all over the place. It's both sides. It's not just.
Was it common? Was it common, Francis?
Yes and no. I didn't take any notice. I didn't take a blind bit of notice. I told my wife, don't worry with them. These people are ignorant. Mm-hmm. You know, what's it got to do with you?
So have you retired fully?
Yeah, I retired 20 years ago.
20 years ago you retired.
Yeah.
And what have you been doing with your life?
Enjoying it.
Have you retired to Dominica?
Yes and no.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Okay. Sometime here, sometime over there. In between.
Yeah, in between or go different places.
Mm-hmm.
We love Ireland.
Mm-hmm.
Go to Ireland. I love Ireland. I love the countryside of Ireland. Yeah.
What are some of the places that you visited?
I go to Ireland all the time. I've been to Venice. We went there on business actually. Once we went to Venice, we were looking for special ovens for Royal Ascot because what it do, the thing for Royal Ascot, not so much Cheltenham, though you do the most meal at Cheltenham, 90% of it is hot. But at Ascot, 90% is cold. So you had to go and find suitable machinery, things like combi ovens, convectors, to do pastry and stuff like that. And so we ended up with various ones to sort that out. And blast chillers, which is a key to any, I see all the hotels here, but I don't know if they have things like blast chillers, because the idea is to cook your food. If you're going to be doing a cold parfait, is to cook it and get it to 1 degree as fast as possible. But I don't know what they do here. Don't ask me.
If one of the hotels here came to you one day and said, can you do one night for us, a special event, maybe a fundraiser or something, would you consider? Or you've hung up the
jacket.
The jacket.
I've hung up the jacket and the hats, but I would still help.
You would still help.
Yeah.
That would be nice. I hope somebody, I suspect not many people, because we got you here. I got a call from a good friend who said, I have this friend here, this person had his secretary call me, come on the line and say, I have a good friend, I have a friend who's here, and this man has done amazing things in London, and this program that you do, I think he should be on it. And that is how, we got around to that. But again, something like that I think would be nice. If there's a fundraiser, somebody trying to raise some funds for a special cause.
Well, there's a lot of things that hotels would do.
Yes.
Because,
you're here.
Yeah, not just that. I've been to quite a few places to eat, and I guarantee you there's only like 2 different soups I've seen on the menu.
Oh.
You see it's either callaloo
or
pumpkin. And then yet we have watercress, which is very good. Do a good watercress. You could get your watercress. You could, when you get it from the market, clean it, get the top part of it, keep that for your salad, and the rest of it, chop it up, and you could do a nice watercress and Stilton soup. Stilton cheese. It's fantastic. But you don't see any of that. You don't see a tomato soup, potato and leek. It's all good stuff. What's callaloo and pumpkin.
Would you do some level of training, probably over a week,
I've tried that. I recall sometimes back, a while ago now, and they were people were coming to train waitresses and waiters. They did it at Scott's Head. They did it by Gashett. Remember Gashett Hotel or his restaurant? They were doing it. I offer my services. They turned me down flat.
What?
I say, you're from London, you don't know nothing.
I find this to be, whoever it was, no. Well, I think we need to make some use of this very learned gentleman, this really good chef. Maybe one of those days he'll invite me over and say, let me cook you some lobster Ramadan.
I'll cook you a lobster Ramadan.
Yes, that's it.
And a nice pillar rice, proper pillar rice.
I will come. You have my number.
Yes.
Keep it close. One of those days when you're up to it.
Yeah, I'll give you this. This is a free tip. Everybody loves Christmas.
Yes.
I love Christmas.
Yes.
Family, but my wife, her favorite is Easter.
Okay.
Don't ask me why, but her favorite is Easter. I love Christmas. I see people have turkey, and I always said to them, I said, come on, turkey is for Christmas, not before. If you're doing a buffet, I can understand. And I've known people to get up in the middle of the night and put their turkeys in the oven. You don't do that.
No.
And people put the turkey straight on its back. That's not the option.
Teach us.
Right. You get your turkey, you clean it, and
You clean it with
you
lime, vinegar, or what? How do you clean it?
well, you wash it with vinegar and salt and whatever, clean the inside, and make sure you take the wishbone out. The wishbone at the front, with a little knife and clip, so when you come to carve the turkey, the blade is not running on the wishbone, and you're just gonna damage your turkey. But take the wishbone before you cook it. It's the front, you run a little like behind the blade, and you whack it out.
Okay.
And then what you do is you do a mirepoix of vegetables, which is like carrots and onions and bay leaves and peppercorns, celery, and you put all that in the tray.
Before you continue, I have left cooked with peppercorns. Tell me what's the purpose of peppercorns?
For taste.
It's for taste.
Flavor, yes.
Okay.
So if you could grind it, it's even better. So,
Okay.
so then you put all that in the tray, or the bottom of the tray. You put your oil or whatever, duck fat. A lot of people like duck fat, especially if you're doing roast potato. So then you put that on, then you use all your spice to season it and get a nice, what we would say, a bouquet garni. You could get the thyme, the celery leaves and everything, and put inside the turkey. And then you put the turkey on its leg. You don't put the turkey on its back. That's not the purpose. The purpose is to put it on its leg, give it half an hour, cover it with foil, give it half an hour, then turn it to the other leg. And while that's happening, when the turkey is cooking, all that juice is running into the turkey legs. Then you turn it over, and then you turn it on its back for another half hour, and then you remove the foil to give it this golden color. That's it. People don't take all that. I put my turkey in at 10 o'clock in the morning.
10 o'clock in the morning.
For lunch for free.
For lunch for free. And it's good.
Yeah. Honest, I know people to put turkey in the oven overnight and straight on their back. It's not. The idea is to cook. The breast of the turkey is not hard to cook. It's the leg, the thigh muscle, the leg you need to cook. So by doing half an hour, that's an hour, put it on its back, give it another hour if you like, remove the foil,
and just
get
let it
that
get
golden brown. That's it. Take it out. The key thing, you must rest your meat. Whatever meat you cook, if it's turkey, if it's chicken, if it's pork, just leave it on the side, covered to rest. So when you come to cut it, it doesn't bleed.
Okay.
You know.
And in terms of the turkey, how do you get the turkey to not be dry?
That's what I just said.
Yes.
It's like cooking it like
That
I told
way.
you.
Okay.
If you put it in the oven, it's gonna go dry. It's gonna come off the bone. The objective is to cook the legs.
Just to cook the legs.
Yeah. Once you cook the legs half hour, and you put it on its back, another hour, turkey's done.
Turkey's done.
Yeah.
Any other?
I remove my legs. I remove the turkey legs. I take the turkey legs out.
After it's cooked.
No, raw. and then I stuffed the leg. And that way you only got the crown, what we call the turkey crown, the front.
Oh, so that's what you do?
Yeah, take
That's
the
what you
legs
do.
off and stuff it.
Okay. Interesting.
Yeah. You stuff it.
I suspect there's quite a bit we could learn from you tonight on this program. It's already 7 minutes to the hour of 10. We're going to get ready to wrap things up. What else? What type of music do you like? You know,
I'm always on my phone.
you're always on your phone.
Yeah, I think my wife's getting fed up with me. There's a chap, oh God, what's his name? Irish singer. I'm always playing it. I don't know if you've heard that record. It goes, "Hey God, are you listening?"
Yes,
Yes.
of course.
And he got the next one, which
I think Dolly Parton did that song. I don't know if she's the original.
this guy is Irish, and he does "Goodbye, My Old Friend."
Mhm.
It's that. But I love all souls. I mean, I was talking to my friend the other day, and I said to him, "What about Lou Rolls?" And he said, "Lou Rolls?" I said, "Yeah, but you're older than me. You should know."
My father introduced me to the Rolls.
Yeah,
Really
it's
nice voice.
fantastic.
Yes, of course.
Yeah, the old time music is
Yes.
best.
And Inglebert's Humperdinck and the rest.
Oh no, I'm not in that.
You're not in that one.
No.
Tom Jones.
No.
No.
Gilly Gregory Isaac.
Exact. All right. And a little Bob Marley too.
Bob Marley, Brooke Benton, all those chaps. Teddy Prendergast. Yeah.
That's your jam. That's
my
your jam.
Yeah.
All right, Francis.
Talking about jam, you know some of the most expensive food you probably never eat it or never seen it. Things like, as I said, like caviar,
Mhm.
white truffle, things like, white truffle, people use it, especially the French, but it's like 4,000 pound a kilo. Things like saffron, and what that gets me, you see the Spanish, and they put in saffron in paella. They never do paella without putting some saffron. The thing is
It's
expensive.
expensive.
Yeah.
It's expensive.
But I think the caviar is the most expensive product you could find.
Yes, yes. And I
22,000 pounds.
per pound.
Yeah.
Francis, as we're getting ready to wrap it up on the program, tell me about your most memorable, summarize for us, your life as a chef, your most memorable times.
When I passed my exams, I said I made it. And I'm going back to Dominica, and I've learned something.
That was important.
I'm not going back. Like I said, I didn't go up as a goat and come back as a sheep,
That's it.
And the people I met along the way, I have some fantastic friends here, London, different parts. Yeah, I did a spell in the Middle East as well. Yeah, I did about 5 months in the Middle East. That was something experience.
As a chef?
Yeah, that was another experience. I went there to do what they call the Asian Games. It's all the Arab continents, Saudi, and all of that, Dubai, Qatar. Yeah, it was so much food was wasted.
Oh my.
I
You
used,
didn't like that?
I used to think all those people starving, and you couldn't do anything with it. The thing about this business is when you go into this kind of job, there's the EHO on your back as well to see what you're gonna do. follow you. You have, it's like raw last, but you have 3 people coming down every day to check your kitchen. But they just want to come and watch the races. Yeah, the environment health officer. Yes. In Dubai, it was, there was very, very strict.
Very, very strict.
Yes.
So you did your stint and that's it.
Yeah, the money was good.
The money was good. I could only imagine, right? Francis, it was such an amazing conversation with you tonight.
Thanks for having me.
Learning so much from you. I hope that some people learned really turkey.
I hope they don't put their turkey in overnight again.
No, stop that. It's not necessary.
No.
Not necessary. And I really do hope that you are given the opportunity, because you're still young and strappy, to provide some assistance, some guidance, some support, teach a little bit of what you've learned over the years. And I mean, with that level of experience,
I think it's time they do a college, not so much a college, but something for people to learn where to cook.
Mm-hmm.
Especially young kids.
Yes.
Get somebody somewhere, a couple of ovens, and basically teach them the basic to cut different. It's not just cooking; it's the different cuts.
Mm-hmm.
If you said to somebody, "What is a dan of salmon?" What is he gonna say to you?
Blanc stare?
It's
He'll get a blanc stare.
A whole slice of salmon, which is what they call a dan of salmon.
Mm-hmm.
Or when you fill it in, they call it a delice because it's off the bone. But nothing like that. It's not just carrots peeled and sliced. There's things you can do with it to make it fancy.
At the end of the day, you want to contribute. You are still able to contribute, and you look forward to contributing. And let's put some respect on this gentleman's name, and let's make some use of the skills and talent that he's very willing, even at his age of 80, to assist our Dominican, to make a contribution, to give back in some way to Dominica. Just saying hello to Joyanne. She's listening.
Is she?
She's listening, yes. She's your granddaughter, right? Mm-hmm. Yes. So I think it was just amazing having you. I'm so happy to have had someone like you, especially during my anniversary month. I really, really appreciate you being here and sharing with us. And these are the types of stories, I really want to be able to share with our people, wherever you are listening, wherever you are tuned into the program. This is really what we want to do with this program, to bring these stories to you. So, Chef Francis, thank you so much. I'm going to give you the opportunity for some final words as we wrap up.
There's some fantastic cookery books they can get. But the best book I would advise is what they call The Art of Practical Cooking by Cesarani and Kinton. Every kitchen should have one.
The Art of Practical Cooking.
Cookery. The Art of, it's a learning curve, and I think every kitchen should have
Can you assist me in spelling? So
Cesarani.
Yes.
Oh God.
It's
I think it's C or Z. Cesarani and Kinton. Yeah.
Okay, so I'll look it up so that I can put it in the comments.
Two lecturers.
Two lecturers.
And yes. I work with 2 of the best as well. Both of them sadly passed away.
Okay.
Albert Roux, who was the Roux brothers, and another chap called John Hubert. I think John was Swiss, and he was the best pâtissier that I've come across. patissier is a pastry chef. But yeah, it was great. We used to do all my dessert at Ascot.
This opportunities that you were given and that were presented to you, I think it's a once in a lifetime. It's dream opportunities that I'm sure many only dream of, but for you, many of them have become a reality.
Yeah.
And I'm sure that the experiences have been totally gratifying to you along the journey.
Oh.
Yes?
I've had a fantastic journey. No regrets.
No regrets. No regrets. No regrets.
I just wish I'd come across a few Dominican chefs.
Along the journey, right?
Yeah.
Yes. Again, we thank Josephine Gabriel and Company Limited for our bottle of wine, and Fine Foods Inc. for the Angostura single barrel, and also Ronald and Pamplemousse for our goodie box that we've got.
Oh, grapefruit.
Yes. That is it on the In the Spotlight radio show for tonight. Thank you so much, everyone. And we will be back here on next week, Monday. Who do you think is going to be? We'll see. Good night, and thank you again. Until next week, Monday. Remember to follow our In the Spotlight radio show page. It's In the Spotlight radio and the TV shows. So look that up, follow the page, and participate in our giveaways and all of our activities during the month of May. Good night, everyone. Thank you again, and blessed nights.
Thank you for listening to In the
One more thing we have to do in the washroom.
If you have
Yeah,
suggestions,
It's around the corner, but come back to here for me. Just around the corner.
in the spotlight, let us know. We'll also